point-slope form graphing equation. If you recall from the set of notes that you already took on graphing linear equations, you'll remember that when graphing using the point-slope form, you need to identify two things, the point and the slope. Let's start with the point. In this case, we look for the x and for the y. Wherever you see the x, you look for the value that follows. In this case, we read a -7, so we will think of this as a +7. And then where we see the y, we see a -4, so we will think of this as a +4. So we will start by graphing the point +7, +4. Let's go on to the xy coordinate, +7, +4, and we start by clicking that point. Now that we've graphed our point, we need to use our slope, which in this case is -5, or as a fraction, -5/1, and we use this slope to graph the next point. So from this point, we need to rise -5, in other words, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we run 1. And that is the second point that we can use to graph this line. Let's try another. So here, next to the x, we have a -3. Let's think of this as a +3. So we go to +3 on the x-axis. From here, we will find the y coordinate, which if we read -3, we think of as a negative, or as a +3 rather, as its opposite. So here we have a +3, +3, again the opposite. So +3 for x, +3 for y. Graph that ordered pair, and from there we need to use our slope. This one looks a little different in that there are no parentheses and there's no number before the parentheses that are missing. So the visible slope or visible value here is a 1. Remember, when the slope is not visible, automatically the value is a 1. So from this point, we will rise 1/1. Now let's start by graphing the point. In this case, after x we have a -4, so let's think of that as +4. After y we have a +7, so let's think of this as a -7. So let's graph the point +4, -7. We go to +4, then -7, graph that point, and from there we will use a slope 1/3. So starting from here, let's rise 1, that's up 1 because it's positive, and run 3. 1, 2, 3. Here's our second point. That gives us the graph of this line. So that's how you graph using the point slope form.